Mrs. Elitayo, will you please take the high table, followed by the Vice President of ABWA. We'll also invite the President of PAFA to the high table. And as host country, let us invite the President of the LICPA. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we'd like to have your attention as we go into a very brief closing of these important activities marking the Second Joint Congress of the ECOWAS ABWA Commission. So at this time, we would call up for special recognitions the host of the ABWA conference here in Liberia under the prestigious auspices of the LICPA. So at this time, we'll call up the ES, that's the Secretary of ABWA, to come up to read a special communique.
Draft communique of the Second ECOWAS ABWA Joint Congress held between March 16, 2022 at the Farmington Hotel, Monrovia, Liberia. The Commissioner for Finance, ECOWAS Commission, the ABWA President, Mrs. Comfort Oluitayo, MNI FCA, the ABWA Vice President, Mr. Drissa Kone, the ABWA Treasurer, Malam Tijani Musa Isa FCA, the President of PAFA, Mr. Cosmo Gundete, the President of LICPA, Mr. Victor Tawon, Presidents of PAO here present, past Presidents of ABWA here present, Registrar CEOs of PAOs here present, the Chairman, ECOWAS ABWA Joint Congress Regional Organizing Committee, erudite resource persons, distinguished participants, gentlemen of the press, ladies and gentlemen, good afternoon. I say good afternoon. It is my pleasure to present some highlights of the Second ECOWAS ABWA Joint Congress and this draft communique, which the ABWA Council will subsequently approve, translate to French, and circulate to all for the benefits of all stakeholders. The second edition of the ECOWAS ABWA Joint Congress was held between March 16, 2022 at the Farmington Hotel, Magibi County, Monrovia, Liberia. The theme of the Congress, which was hosted by the Liberian Institute of Certified Public Accountants, was good governance and sustainable development for regional prosperity. Attendance. The Congress was attended by 192 delegates, drawn from 13 PAOs in 12 countries of the sub-region. They are Benin Republic, Burkina Faso, Côte d'Ivoire, Ghana, Liberia, Mali, Niger, Nigeria, Senegal, Sierra Leone, the Gambia, and Togo. Compared to the 151 delegates and 10 participating PAOs recorded during the inaugural edition held in 2019, this Congress has set new records on both grounds. Opening and goodwill messages. The Congress was declared open by His Excellency Dr. George M. Weah, President of the Republic of Liberia. We received inspiring goodwill messages from the IFAC President, Mr. Alan Johnson, and the President Forum of Accountants General and Auditors Generals in West Africa, FAGWA, who is also the Accountant General of the Federation of Nigeria, Dr. Ahmed Idris, FCNA. Technical sessions. The Congress had 5 knowledge-driven technical sessions which were chaired by carefully selected experts who brought their wealth of experiences to bear on the various proceedings. In all, 14 resource persons made presentations on the conference themes, reflecting their diverse perspectives on the various issues. These perspectives steered interesting interactions and robust contributions from the delegates. At the end of the various sections, the following were observed and recommended. 1. The conference noted the poor state of development of the West African sub-region, despite its abundant natural and human resource endowments. While blaming this on the failure of leaders to leverage the unexplored huge potential of the sub-region to achieve its growth and development, the conference urged the current political leaders to recommit themselves to the ideas of economic nationalism, service for the common good, and the promotion of people-oriented policies in order to change the narrative of the sub-region. The conference acknowledged the strong positive relationship between the character of political leaders, good governance, and the pace of economic development. The conference therefore recommends that the citizens of the sub-region should become more socially active by playing greater role in the recruitment process of political leaders through the exercise of their franchise. While inviting political leaders to brace up to the reality of change, both in terms of their attitude to good governance, resource utilization, and preservation of the environment, the conference recommends that the citizens should take on the responsibility of holding their leaders to account. In the opinion of the conference, where there are no consequences for poor leadership, bad governance will thrive. The conference took cognizance of the global trend towards sustainability and the need for leaders and resource managers to place the survival of people and planet above the drive for profit. While noting the emerging negative challenges of climate change, the conference declared the situation in which corporate entities make abnormal profit and prosper at the expense of society. With such scenario, according to the conference, the ability of the future generations to meet their own needs will unduly be compromised. The implication of corporate leaders' disdain for sustainability is that rather than prosper, nations in the sub-region are burdened by disease, poverty, and underdevelopment in the midst of resource abundance, while their vision of shared prosperity in the future is impaired. Since empirically good governance underlies economic growth and development, the conference agreed that open, transparent, and accountable leadership are imperatives for sustainable development and regional prosperity. To avoid the possible emergence of the tragedy of the commons, therefore, the conference invites political and corporate leaders to embrace the ideal of good governance, take responsibility for negative externalities, stop the consumption today of the region's future in order to prosper on a sustainable basis. According to the conference, the current climate change makes this option an inevitable imperative. The conference also recommends that professional accountants who are acknowledged experts in resource management should take up the challenge of becoming advocates for focused and purposeful leadership driven by open, equitable, and inclusive governance and the observance of rule of law. In their view, such an urgent strategic action by the accountancy profession will preclude the region from missing the train of economic and human progress. The conference further noted with great concern the negative impact of illicit financial outflows on the economies and welfare of people of the sub-region. According to the conference delegates, corruption, illicit financial outflows, and money laundering activities have remained clogs not only on the wheel of progress and the success of ongoing public financial management reforms, but also manifest in unwholesome tax practices, tax and commercial practices, corruption, theft, and terrorism financing. The pervasive and profound insecurity in the sub-region underscores the severity of this challenge. To address this challenge, therefore, the conference recommends that the nations in the sub-region must continue to collaborate and collectively evolve strategies that will halt the pillage of their scarce resources and foreign exchange reserves, especially through illicit financial outflows and sharp practices. While noting the complex links between money laundering and illicit financial flows, while noting that the complex links between money laundering and illicit financial flows make it difficult for the malaise to be tackled, the conference urged countries of the sub-region to leverage the huge resources of the Global Financial Action Task Force, intergovernmental action against money laundering, and other international agencies to reinforce their anti-corruption, anti-money laundering, and anti-terrorism financing strategies. The conference also urged governments of the sub-region to leverage the expertise of professional accountants in their respective countries to fight against these social vices. The conference further recommends collaborative efforts between ECOWAS, ABWA, and the African Union to tackle illicit financial flows, as this is crucial to achieving Africa's financial independence, as envisaged by the African Vision 2063, the Africa we want. The conference acknowledged the prime place of capital market in the promotion of capital accumulation, investment, cross-border trade, wealth creation, and the accelerated economic growth and development of nations, while noting the prevalence of the informal sector in the sub-region and the stringent conditions for accessing funds from the various capital markets. The conference urged the capital market regulator to revisit and simplify these harsh conditions so that small and medium-sized enterprises, which are chief drivers of economic activities in West Africa, can leverage the window to raise more investable funds. The participants urged the various governments in sub-region to increase the productivity of their domestic resources, stir up trade and macroeconomic stability in order to eliminate poverty and inequality, vice promoting security and inhibit investments. They also urged the various capital markets in the sub-region to continuously collaborate, as well as take advantage of the World Bank-sponsored platform for integrating capital market across West Africa in order to enhance their depth, breadth, and the robustness of their respective investment instruments. They further urge professional accountants as experts in share valuation and capital market practices to facilitate this intercapital market cooperation so that they can finance huge capital-intensive projects in the sub-region. Convinced that the sustained growth in the intra-African trade will rev the capital markets into action with positive implications for the sub-region, the conference urged West African countries to leverage the instrumentality of the African Continental Free Trade to accelerate the pace of growth of their capital markets. The conference urged them to strive to be active players in the trade area in order to reap the associated benefits. The conference noted the place of high-quality corporate reporting in attracting foreign direct investments and the growth of the capital market, while advocating for accelerated convergence of corporate reporting practices in the region. The conference urged donor agencies and ECOWAS to financially and technically assist countries of the sub-region to reform their financial reporting framework in order to accelerate their participation in the capital market, attract FDIs, which are crucial to economic growth and development. In their view, building human capacity through training and retraining, especially of professional accountants, is critical to the success of the transformation initiatives of governments of the sub-region. The conference acknowledged the pervasive ongoing disruption of the accountancy profession, occasioned by the inevitable digital transformation associated with the fourth industrial revolution, as well as the impact of COVID-19 pandemic-induced uncertainties and turbulence, while recognizing the fact that the emerging dynamics have altered the ecosystem of work, ushered in remote work practices, and made change to operational and procedural processes and urgent imperative. The conference delegates were persuaded that the possibilities, opportunities, and benefits of the fourth industrial revolution far outweigh its challenges and fears, and urged members to reskill and acquire the right technologies required to remain relevant, since these changes will not end anytime soon. Greatly enthused by the disruptive impact that technology is having on business practices, finance models, and the accountancy profession, the conference further urged professional accountants to remain agile, flexible, and adaptive to market and environmental changes in a productive and cost-effective way. They noted that only individuals and entities that invest in knowledge will survive on a sustainable basis. According to the conference, if professionals of the region are going to be effective and active players in the emerging fourth industrial revolution, they must acquire soft skills to enhance their value proposition in the face of artificial intelligence, big data, machine learning, and blockchain technology. Since adaptation and change have become critical success factors and imperative for their continued relevance, the conference urged PAOs to engage in strategic thinking, revisit and update their pre- and post-qualification training curricula in order to technically empower new entrants and existing members for the emerging challenges that lie ahead. They further urged the PAOs to expeditiously re-engineer their offerings to meet the emerging remote work situation, ensure that their ethical codes, investigation, and disciplinary processes are robust enough to meet evolving challenges of digital trust. While noting that corporate governance was a mechanism for promoting accountability, transparency, and shared prosperity, the conference delegates stressed the importance of diversified board, as it has serious positive implications for its financial performance, firm value, and ability to meet the needs of its stakeholders. They therefore recommend that corporate leaders should focus on the needs of stakeholders and the processes for delivering values by not clapping with one hand. They further recommend that corporate entities in the sub-region should strive to build boards through well-planned succession plans, which accommodate the diverse attributes of their stakeholders, including gender, culture, nationality, ethnic minorities, age, skills, and competencies, as this can inspire creativity, create profound synergies, enhance access to capital, drive value creation and innovation that can lead to competitive advantage. They urge all PAOs to assist their respective countries to have corporate governance codes which abhor biases and embed the aforementioned attributes for promoting diversity and inclusion. Such a code should be flexible and scalable while ensuring that regulatory burden is reduced. Finally, the conference commended the joint organizers of the Congress, ECOWAS and ABWA for the choices of teams, resource persons, and the well-organized Congress. They urge ECOWAS to leverage its vantage position to drive the development of the accountancy profession and harmonization of its practices in the sub-region. Thank you very much.
And thank you very much, Mr. Executive Secretary, for that profound wrap-up, almost like a minute. Looking forward to seeing it being adopted and used for future reference. So at this juncture, we will call up the head of the host country and the president of the LICPA to come up and do for us special presentation of awards. Ladies and gentlemen, let us have Mr. Victor Tawan, president of LICPA.
Please permit me to stand on all existing protocols. I am a person that believes to give one their flowers while they are still alive. It will be a disservice to everyone here this afternoon for the past 2 days to Liberia, to our institute and members, if we do not recognize the efforts, the steadfastness, the tireless efforts, the commitment, professionalism with which our local organizing committee, headed by Madam Anthony Dekonti Kensaki, and our team has worked so hard to make this Congress a success. About a few months ago, the LICPA Council passed a resolution to establish what we call the LICPA's President Award. On this note, I will want to invite Anthony Kensaki to the podium, the chair of the local organizing committee for this Congress. Madam Kensaki, on behalf of the Governing Council, the general membership, and in my own name as president of the Liberian Institute of Certified Public Accountants, I want to say to you, congratulations. You and your team has brought pride to us. You may not know that as late as 2 a.m. in the morning, she's walking and texting me. And when I wake up, I say, wow, this lady is not asleep at 2 a.m. We appreciate you. As I said in my speech, it was no mistake that God led me to appoint you to head this committee. We are proud of you. You've brought pride to our country, to our institute. The award itself, yesterday, our vendor, the supplier of our award at the institute, informed me that the quality of the award we want is not in stock. But next week it will be arriving in Liberia, and we will invite you at the institute's chamber, the chamber of the council, where we will do an elaborate presentation in the presence of journalists that Liberia should know that we appreciate you. Congratulations on behalf of council. And I say, may God richly bless you, guard, and prosper the works of your hands. Thank you so much. God bless you.
Thank you, Mr. President, for delivering an award quite deserving. And I can vouch from behind this podium that Liberia can truly boast of one of the gallant female heroes. We call them sheroes of Liberia. Please accept from behind this microphone our sincere thanks to as Masters of Ceremonies. We respect you and we know the quality that you bring to leadership in Liberia. Thank you so much. So at this time, we would like to invite to the podium for our wrap-up section, the one who heads the ABWA. And the president will be given her not just closing remarks of this section, but my understanding is that anticipatedly looking forward to where ABWA goes from here. So at this time, let us call up the president of ABWA to come and give us our wrap-up for today's Congress. Madam President, welcome.
Thank you very much. I would like to join my voice in commending highly the person you term as the Shiro. That's the first time I'm hearing that term. Perhaps we'll borrow it, but it's highly commendable when you see women doing very well. I commend you, sister. Congratulations. Distinguished colleagues on the ABWA Council, our PAFA President, and the Chairman of the Regional Organizing Committee of this great Congress, please permit me to rely on the well-established protocol. Distinguished ladies and gentlemen, the past 72 hours have been very eventful for all the delegates to this second edition of the joint ECOWAS ABWA Congress. There is no doubt that we have had a very rewarding experience in Monrovia and also learned some strategic lessons, which include the need to regularly engage with our stakeholders. We should also become great advocates for sustainable development, as well as continue to hone our skills to stay relevant. The support received by the Liberia Institute, LICPA, from the Liberian government is a product of such strategic engagement. During the Congress, a lot of issues were raised, discussed, and solutions proffered. It is my earnest expectation that we will go back to our respective PAOs and countries and strategically evolve implementation plans that will deliver the future we desire and deserve. It might also be expedient to share these thoughts with political leaders and policymakers as part of our advocacy and public interest mandate. As I conclude this address, let me inform you all that the hosting right for the third ECOWAS ABWA Joint Congress has been ceded by ABWA Council to Côte d'Ivoire, the institute. In other words, the next Congress will be held in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire in year 2024. It is also instructive to mention that PAFA's 7th ACWA, that is the Congress of PAFA, will be held in Abidjan, Côte d'Ivoire in 2023. This is a great feat for the sub-region, for which I congratulate our ABWA Council and OECA Côte d'Ivoire. To give you an insight into what to expect, the OEC Côte d'Ivoire has a montage or short video clip which will be played now.
For the first time, a traditional French-speaking country is hosting the African Congress of Chartered Accountants, and it is Côte d'Ivoire. The land of hospitality welcomes ECOWAS 2023. Côte d'Ivoire, the land of cultural diversity with its sacred masks and musical African soft rhythms, or its internationally recognized dancing drive. Côte d'Ivoire, an internationally recognized master of large-scale conferences, forums, and events, and we can cite numerous as large-scale as the 27th Congress of the Universal Postal Union, held over nearly a month with more than 3,000 delegates from 192 countries. The 5th EU-AU Summit with 10,000 participants from 112 countries. Not to mention the Francophonie Games in July 2017 with the participation of 48 countries. And the All-African Soccer Competition will hold its 34th edition next year, 2023, in the land of cocoa and coffee. An immersion, the Association of Chartered Accountants of Côte d'Ivoire wants to offer all ECOWAS 2023 participants.
Le congrès de la Fédération panafricaine des comptables a été déjà organisé par 4 pays anglophones, par un pays arabophone qui est le Maroc et par un pays lusophone qui est le Mozambique. Donc vous pouvez constater qu'aucun pays francophone ne s'est déjà engagé à pouvoir l'organiser, et pour nous c'est très important de pouvoir le faire. Sachant quand même que la création de la fédération panafricaine a été faite au Sénégal. Donc il est normal qu'aujourd'hui, pour le congrès, qu'un pays francophone se présente et candidate.
The Ivorian Association has its own experience of organizing large-scale conferences and events. 1997, organization of the first Congress of the Association with more than 1,500 delegates. First edition of the Regional Congress of Chartered Accountants of Guayamu. The local association has extended its experience in co-organizing and participating in large-scale events at international level in several countries regarding professional accountants, OADA, IFA, etc. Côte d'Ivoire has one of the most advanced and modern infrastructures in Africa. Numerous 5-star hotels and a national hotel beds capacity of more than 40,000 rooms with welcoming and warm staff. 100 health and hospital establishments with international standards. Translation firms with state-of-the-art equipment. A modern transport system including boats, a national bus system, a dozen of luxurious private limousine companies, all supported by a high-quality road network. ECOWAS Côte d'Ivoire 2023 will be a success and bring to its next level the development and consolidation of the accounting profession in French-speaking countries.
La Côte d'Ivoire est prête. Et surtout, la profession comptable, elle est prête. Nous avons à peu près 1500 et 2000 congressistes qui sont attendus en Côte d'Ivoire pour venir réfléchir, pour venir mutualiser nos connaissances, pour venir partager des expériences. Dès que nous avons présenté notre projet auprès de notre ministre de tutelle, le ministre de l'économie et des finances, M. Adama Coulibaly, il nous a spontanément soutenus avec une correspondance qui engage le gouvernement de l'État de Côte d'Ivoire dans ce projet.
scheduled for May 15 to 18 in Abidjan, in the largest luxury hotel of the Ivorian economic capital. ECOWAS 2023 will be a hybrid, face-to-face congress with the possibility of attending via the internet. Several innovations are planned with open participation of sister professions. The Order of Chartered Accountants of Côte d'Ivoire, with the support of the Ivorian government, has taken up the challenge of making these meetings the nexus and full integration of the French-speaking African countries into the profession and that of innovation.
Lorsque vous vous engagez dans un projet comme l'organisation d'un congrès qui concerne plusieurs pays, vous avez besoin de soutien. Et les premiers soutiens, ce sont les membres de la PAFA. Nous avons également les membres d'une organisation de la CEDEAO qu'on appelle l'ABWA, qui nous ont soutenus, et la plupart des pays qui sont membres de l'Afrique centrale, de l'Afrique de l'Ouest. Et vraiment, pour l'ensemble des membres de notre corporation, au niveau panafricain, je tenais à leur dire merci. Merci à nos autorités de continuer à nous soutenir, de continuer à nous faire confiance.
ECOWAS 2023, the ECOWAS of the integration of the French-speaking world into the Pan-African accounting world.
I hope we have all been tantalized for things to expect. Please, I encourage all of us to save the date. Let us prepare to attend both congresses. Let me also inform you that the gala night of this congress will take place at JWG Beach Resort, Boys Town, Marshall, Magribi County, Liberia. Vehicles will be provided to take delegates from their various hotels to the venue. The mode of dressing is African or smart casual. Be prepared to socialize, eat, drink, and dance. I can assure you these activities will not be audited. So I look forward to receiving all of you at the venue. Now, it is my singular honor and privilege as the president of ABWA to declare the second ECOWAS ABWA Congress closed. Thank you and God bless you.
Thank you. The sessions are closed, but not formally dismissed. So we now call on the Honorable Vice President of LICPA, Mr. Papin Daniels Jr., for the vote of thanks.
Distinguished guests, kindly permit me to stand on existing protocols as I present this vote of thanks. For and on behalf of the Liberian Institute of Certified Public Accountants, we would like to express our sincere gratitude and thanks to the below here. The President of the Republic of Liberia, Dr. George Manawia, Mr. Alan Johnson, President of the International Federation of Accountants, Confederation. Mr. Cosmo Gondete, President of PAFA, the Pan-African Federation of Accountants. Dr. Ahmed Idris, President FAGWA, President of the ECOWAS Commission, Jean-Claude Cassi, Bro, Mrs. Halima Alime, Commissioner for Finance, ECOWAS Commission, Mrs. Comfort Olu Yatayo, President of ABWA, Mr. Drissa Kuni, Vice President of ABWA, Madam Tijani Musa Issa, Treasurer, ABWA, Dr. Abel Asin, Executive Secretary, ABWA, President and members of all PAOs, Mr. Emmanuel L. Shaw, Past President, Liberian Institute of Studies for Public Accountant, Mr. Y. Nimeni Elliot Momosio, Past President, Liberian Institute of Studies for Public Accountants, Mr. Tuba Endo, Past President, Liberian Institute of Studies for Public Accountants, Mr. Francis B.S. Johnson, Past President, Liberian Institute of Studies for Public Accountant, Mr. Ato W.B. Fumba, Past President, Liberian Institute of Studies for Public Accountants, Mr. Stephen D. Samafula, Past President, Liberian Institute of Studies for Public Accountant, the late Mr. Sam D. Momo, who served as former Executive Director of the Institute, Liberian Institute of Studies for Public Accountants, Chairperson and committee member of the Regional Organizing Committee, the ROC, chairpersons and committee members of the Local Organizing Committee. For the event, we also had people individuals and experts who we refer to them as resource persons. We also want to extend our thanks to them, so let me just call them up right now. Professor Benjamin C. Osisioma, Mr. Kimilabu Abba, Ms. M. Koniba Soma, Mr. Alfred Akibo Betts, Professor William A. Atulek, M. Jitaba Jilanta Dowata, Mr. Isa A.K. Dramer, Mr. Drissa Koni, Mr. Derek A. Hill, Mr. Samuel Sawadogo, Mr. Isaac Orolubagi, Mr. Sergi Mensah, and Mr. Siriku Gage. For the event, we also had some sponsors that supported us to have come thus far. We also want to give them thanks. We had categories of sponsors. We have platinum, we have gold, and we have silver. But I will get called the names of our sponsors. Bicon Incorporated, Parker and Company, Orange Liberia, Golden Touch Corporation, Fina Enterprise, Baker Taylor Liberia, INAC Consulting Incorporated, Liberia Revenue Authority. Of course, they're from the government side, but they were very instrumental in helping us, and so we want to recognize them here. Petro Trade, Method Scientific, Connex Liberia. We also had other people in the background that made this also a success. So we want to thank Guru Design Studio, Supreme Media Link, Millennium Acts, Save Dollars, K3 TV Event, Vibes Music Band, Balawala International Foundation, Section B, Entertainment Set Business, Farmington Hotel, John W. Gwese Beach Resort, Leisure Entertainment Group, and the Ministry of Health, MOH, Morrisville County and Margibi County team that are here conducting COVID tests for our guests. We also want to recognize our moderators. They were here and they said something very important yesterday. They said they thought accountants are people who don't talk plenty, they get believing in numbers. But now they're realizing that we've now becoming like lawyers because we write so many things, and when it comes to we're discussing issues that cut across every aspect of the globe now. Looking at IT, we're looking at good governance, and so many wondering whether we now becoming politicians, but no, we are not. We're just trying to make sure that we balance the school. So we want to recognize Mr. Vavi Holmes, Attorney Kojo and Ross, and of course our media team. The media team have been covering this event. You all have done well. We also want to give a special recognition to the government of Liberia through the Ministry of Finance and Development Planning and the General Auditing Commission. They really help us to get us to where we are today. So on behalf of the Institute, I want to say thank you, and may God bless you. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Vice President, for those remarks. Indeed, Liberia is grateful to the Joint Congress, and we hope that your stay here has been a very meaningful one. We hope you enjoy the hospitality, and we hope you're carrying back the most important thing you learned from Liberia, whether it's the cuisine or whether it's the plenty talking we do, or whether it's just the freedom, that brought all of us here, the love of liberty. I hope you've enjoyed every good thing about Liberia. So in closing, we'd just like to say it's been a pleasing pleasure serving you for the last 2 days. And hopefully, if we are invited, we would love to see the Liberian delegation in full at the upcoming ABWA Congress, ABWA ECOWAS Congress. And so let us give hats up to the Honorable, and we're actually saving the best for last. All these things would not have happened without the efforts of the Leisure Entertainment and Conference Services. And the Chief Operating Officer has sat without getting up from behind his seat. Joseph Zanga Bright, please accept our heartfelt thanks and appreciation. In the cubicle there are 2 veteran interpreters. You were listening to your headphones and you got French and English interpretation. Jackson Idor did the English interpretation, and Fenat Kamanor did the French interpretation. We'd like to say thanks so much for your contribution towards the success of this program. We also like to say thanks to the guys on my left flank. You heard a beautiful summary that was read. We had a host of rapporteurs who actually made sure that they did all of the notes taken and the compilation was done just in time. The lead rapporteur is D. Adam Tokba, along with your team, Romeo, Tokpa, Patrick, Rosetta Fandolo would like to say thanks to all of you. For and on behalf of the organizing committee,
So we still like to announce to you that the get-together that will be happening this evening, please be ready by 5:30. The bus will pick you up from the hotel. So please make sure you are ready and at the pickup point in front of the hotel. Also, don't forget, as we go out, I think the program was truncated very well and we have saved a lot of time. So don't forget the COVID team is out there to do your testing, and please make sure you do it. It lasts up to 3. So it's not even 1 o'clock yet, so you can go when we leave from here to do it even before lunch. Thank you so much.
thanks to Orange, our lead partner. Thanks to the KMTV family for bringing these ceremonies live through the internet. Until we see again, we'd like to say from our end, it's been a plum and pleasing pleasure. Thank you.